I was so surprised when I talked to many buyers who have been importing from China for many years, and most of them have never heard of Yiwu. And some may heard of this city, but they never been here. They only go to Guangzhou, Shenzhen, or directly go to the factory cities instead. So I strongly recommend anyone who source product from China who wants to understand how China manufacturing really works to learn about Yiwu. Because this city is the most important hub in China for daily consumer goods. It's the largest city for e-commerce business and also one of the China's top cities for exporting. Most of the made in China products you have seen in supermarkets, especially those under $30, are mainly produced in this city. Factories in big cities in China are usually on large scale and they focus on high-tech or branded products, while the factories in Yiwu are mostly small to medium size. They know how to optimize their supply chain to bring price down to the lowest in the world. Even after the US raised import tariffs on Chinese goods, products from Yiwu still remain very competitive in price. So in today's video, I will take you on a deep dive into Yiwu supply chain to show you not only the world's largest wholesale market, but also how local factories here run raw materials into finished products at an ultra low operational cost. The first place we are going to visit is the Yiwu wholesale market. And if you are looking to source any product from China, this is of course the best place that worth you to visit. And it is just as important as Canton Fair because this is the largest wholesale market in the world. And inside the market, you will find over 70,000 suppliers selling pretty much everything that you can imagine. And the prices here are some of the lowest in all of China. And that's why so many foreigner buyers move here, living in Yiwu full-time, buying container after container of goods to resell in their home countries. But why are prices here so cheap? Because business here are mainly focused on one thing: low profit per item, but higher sales volume. For example, just renting one small accessory booth inside the market costs $100,000 per year. However, each strand of beads might only bring a profit of 5 cents. So these suppliers, they need to generate at least a few $1,000,000 in revenue to make a decent profit. And in Yiwu wholesale market, most of the suppliers here are husband and wife business. The wife usually manages the shops and the husband usually runs the factory about 30 kilometers away from the market. With such a lean structure, their operational costs are way lower than large corporate factories. The Yiwu wholesale market is just the front store, and outside the market, over 1 million people in this city are working in different kinds of supply chain roles, making products at super competitive prices and supplying them to the market. Next, we are going to check out family-run factories. These are super common in the rural areas of our province, and when it comes to production cost, they are definitely the lowest in the whole industry. Now we are standing in one of the Yiwu nearby village, and at first glance, it looks like a very ordinary rural town, but in reality, each village here specializes producing one or two type of products. And it's very common that one village might produce buttons, and the next village maybe produce a shoelace. Each village has 50 to 100 small family-run factories and also have bigger and modern factories which you are familiar with. But what's more fascinating are those home factories. They literally are factories running inside people's houses, and workers are often family members or their neighbors. And they will sometimes work here today and maybe in another neighborhood tomorrow. Many of these factory owners used to be wholesalers or work in larger factories before they started their home factory. And these tiny home factories, they don't just sell to the Yiwu wholesale market, they also do outsource work for bigger factories. Their cost is extremely low since they don't need to pay the factory rent and they don't hire full-time workers. And in China, it's surprisingly easy to start a small factory. You just buy a few machines, invite a few neighbors, and you're in the business. Of course, low startup costs are not only the reason for China's cheap prices. And in China manufacturing industry, a 10% profit margin is already considered as quite good because the competition is brutal. So for factories, they are always looking for ways to improve the efficiency and cut cost. Otherwise, they cannot survive. Yiwu is very different from other cities in China. It's very hard to find big factories in this city, and most of them are small factories with just 20 to 50 workers. And that's because running a factory with hundreds of workers is really expensive. and it makes the product less competitive in price. So they prefer to outsource part of the productions to other factories to increase the production capacity. Here is Zhuji, a city next to Yiwu, and this is the world socks capital, producing 35% of the global socks. And making a pair of socks here just costs 30 cents. And in the past, most of socks factories, they prefer handle the entire process by themselves. There are processes like knitting, sewing, shaping, inspection, ironing, and packaging. But today, many of these factories, they outsource some of the steps to different smaller workshops. And the socks factory only focuses on selecting raw materials, knitting, and the quality controls. Besides how easy it is to outsource productions, another important reason why Chinese products keep getting cheaper is the huge numbers of part suppliers. Many factories, they don't need to make the whole product parts from scratch. They just purchase the parts and assemble them into a complete product. We are here at a jewelry accessory market, and if you want to make a bracelet like this, you just need to come here and buy all the components you need and assemble them together. Besides the accessory markets for jewelries, our city also have a huge market dedicated to garment-related supplies like zippers, buttons, velcro, elastic bands, embroidery patches, and so on. Because every product needs packaging, so there are also tons of supplies here for packaging boxes and bags. And if you go to the Yiwu industrial material market, you will even find all kinds of automatic packaging machines. That means no matter what kind of factory that you want to set up in Yiwu, everything you need in the supply chain is within just 30 kilometers away from you. Many Chinese factories have tried moving their production lines to Southeast Asia countries, but in the end, they realized that they cannot move the entire related supply chain, which means total production cost is even more expensive. We are now at Yiwu's overstock market. Everything here is factory overproduction, and the price here is incredibly low, only 10 to 20% of the factory's production cost. Most of these products are perfectly fine, but there are a few reasons why things are so cheap here. Reasons such like factories they made too much or their customer cancel their orders. So the factories, they either trash the goods or they sell to here.
这种都是基本款哦，基本款一般10几块、20几块嘛。
这样的衣服大概多少钱
15块，这4件都15。
起订量是多少？
没有起订量，你只要定了就是15。纸质拼图，像这种就是4块5的。
Every day, traders from Africa, Middle East, and South America, they come here hunting for good deals. They don't care much about styles. As long as it's cheap, they will buy. A lot of those $2 or $3 products with free shipping that you have seen on Temu, Shein, they actually come from this surplus market. And that's why those e-com sellers, they can still make money because their cost is incredibly low. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope this gave you a deeper look into how China's supply chain works, and especially here in Yiwu. And if you ever plan to visit Yiwu, please let me know. You are more than welcome to stop by our company, and we are located right next to the Yiwu wholesale market. And if there's any product you'd like to import from China, you can submit an inquiry through the link below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.